In a league that never sleeps and an off-season already ablaze with blockbuster trades and seismic shifts, imagine this. The Golden State Warriors, a dynasty on the cusp of fading glory, pulling off a game-changing move that could rewrite their fate, and it starts with Chicago's Coby White landing in the Bay. Yes, you heard it right. As the dust settles from Kevin Durant's shocking move to Houston, the Celtics' stunning reshuffle, and Orlando's haul of Memphis picks for Desmond Bane, the chatter heating up right now might just be the boldest yet, a potential trade sending Coby White from the Bulls to the Warriors, a move loaded with promise, tension, and high stakes. Picture the Warriors' Steph Curry, still dazzling, though advancing in years, Jimmy Butler channeling his fierce competitiveness, and Draymond Green anchoring the defense with that relentless grit, all desperate for one last dance, one last championship run before the curtain comes down on their era. But to get back to the summit, Curry and Butler need a trustworthy, dynamic third scoring threat, and that's where Coby White enters this dramatic script. White isn't just a bench warmer or a hopeful prospect. He's a proven talent who has steadily refined his game into that elite third option every title contender craves. Over the past 2 seasons alone, he's pumped out over 19 points per game, rising to 20.4 last season. And he does it all with sharp-shooting precision from beyond the arc, hitting at least 37% from three-point land in both years' markers. Of a player who can stretch defenses and make space for the Warriors' lethal ball handlers. But let's backtrack for a second. Why with the Bulls? A franchise desperate to swing their fortunes toward long-term success, entertain trading White, a player still blossoming at just 24? The Bulls have been in a relentless rebuilding cycle, swapping pieces, experimenting with lineups, and searching for that elusive star to elevate them beyond the NBA's middling ranks. They recently surprised many by drafting Noah Essen, a French big man, at no 12, ostensibly signaling a focus elsewhere, making it all the more plausible they'll use White or Lonzo Ball as trade chips to stockpile future draft capital. White, with his skill set and pedigree, is a tantalizing asset in this chess game, capable of fetching a coveted first-round pick that Chicago badly needs to swing for a franchise-altering acquisition down the road. So here's the twist. While Chicago didn't draft a combined replacement for their backcourt duo tonight, that doesn't close the door on a trade. It actually sets the stage for one. The Bulls have the leverage, and the Warriors the desperate desire, creating a tantalizing meet-in-the-middle scenario that could reshape the narrative on both sides and set the NBA's offseason on fire. Imagine the flash of Curry and White on the hardwood, their spike in pace and perimeter shooting amplifying Golden State's offense, while Butler's tenacity continues to intimidate opponents, a trio that's equal parts youthful energy and veteran savvy. But here's another cliffhanger. White's contract situation complicates the picture. Entering the final year of his current deal, he's a short-term asset with long-term financial ambiguity. For the Warriors, that has to be carefully weighed against their championship window. Will Golden State commit to White beyond this immediate run? Or is he a rental piece, a bold gamble to claim one last title before the franchise inevitably pivots toward youth? And for Chicago, how much transparency are they willing to reveal about their future plans? Do they see White as expendable? Or is this merely a tactical feeding of assets to fast-track a rebuild? One thing's certain, this is an off-season storyline drenched in drama and potential, a high-wire act with enormous implications for the league's power structures. Remember how the Warriors revolutionized basketball with their three-point barrage and team chemistry? What if White's addition is the missing link that reignites that spark? Or conversely, could this be the beginning of the end of their dynasty? A desperate, last-ditch maneuver that falls just short. The emotional stakes here are immense. Fans who've witnessed the Warriors' rise, endured the heartbreak of missed playoff runs, and celebrated the raucous joy of championship parades will feel the gravity of this possible move. White himself, once a rising star in Chicago hoping to anchor their rebuild, faces a pivot toward a franchise loaded with expectations and pressure, a leap that could either launch his career into stardom or leave him grappling with the weight of monumental expectations. And hang tight, because the narrative thread extends beyond just these two teams. Chicago's moves could ripple across the league, sparking a domino effect of trades, signings, and strategic gambles, all as franchises recalibrate post-draft and brace for free agency. Could this trade be the spark that ignites a full-scale reshuffling, or will it be a quiet footnote eclipsed by other off-season fireworks? The NBA never sleeps, and the Warriors' flirtation with adding Coby White could be the most electrifying chapter, yet one that will keep fans on the edge of their seats, hearts pounding, eyes glued to every headline, every rumor, every late-night tweet. Stay locked in, because whether this trade goes down or not, the implications will reverberate through the NBA landscape well into the next season. And we at Warriors News Fan Report will be right here breaking down every move, every angle, every ounce of drama. Because in this game, heroes rise and fall in a heartbeat, and now more than ever, the Warriors' quest for a final glorious run feels like a story impossible to miss. And Coby White may just be the wild card that turns the tide. So buckle up, hoop fans, because the offseason saga is just getting started. And when the Bulls and Warriors collide over White, it won't just be a trade. It'll be a pivotal moment in basketball history waiting to unfold. The countdown is on. Will the Warriors dynasty write one last glorious chapter, or is this the beginning of a passing era? Only time will tell. But one thing is clear: if you blink, you might just miss the move that changes everything. Keep your eyes wide open. This story is far from over. If your heart just skipped a beat thinking about Steph rocking that old school handle and launching threes with a fresh gunner breathing down the lane, light up those comments and let out that Dub Nation roar. This is the kind of shockwave that breaks the mold and flips the script on everything we thought was settled. Now, right as the rumors swirl thicker than the fog over the bay, the Warriors stand at a crossroads that feels part deja vu, part brand new frontier. Imagine Coby White, that lightning-quick, fearless scorer with a shifty crossover that can break ankles and defenses alike, slipping into the Warriors roster like a jigsaw piece nobody saw coming, but screaming to be there all along. He's that missing spice, that unpredictable spark to complement Steph's silky drip and Jimmy Butler's fierce bulldog grit. But here's the million-dollar question digging deep beneath the surface. Does Coby's style jive with Kerr's meticulously orchestrated symphony? Or could this fresh infusion rattle the delicate balance of this veteran core like a double-edged sword? Think about it: Steph Curry, still dripping at 29 points a game, slicing defenses apart. But at 35, we all know the clock's ticking faster than a G League buzzer beater. Draymond's defense and mind games still anchor the team. But can his intensity adapt when youth and speed enter the dance with a wild card like White? Wiggins and Kuminga, young stars bursting with potential, but still trying to carve their electric identities, suddenly share the floor with a sharpshooter who's proven he can erupt for 30 points on any given night. Moody, Poole, and Podziemski, the emerging arms in Golden State's arsenal, they're watching and waiting, hungry to know if they're still the future, or if White's arrival signals a last hurrah, an all-in now move that ups the ante but tightens the space for their development. The West is a battlefield in chaos right now. The Suns and Nuggets jockeying for supremacy, the Lakers trying to recapture magic, and the Mavericks and Thunder making noise, and the Warriors don't just want to compete. They want to dominate. But could White be that X factor who pushes them back into the elite while sparking fresh chemistry? Or, conversely, does his addition risk undoing the rhythmic offense Kerr has crafted over years? How will this impact the locker room vibe, with a mix of fiery veterans like Green and Butler and a young core brimming with talent and ambition? Kerr has always been a master at balancing egos and styles, but now comes his greatest test. Does he integrate White as a genuine third weapon, or does this gamble fracture the cohesion that has been the Warriors' trademark? Dub Nation has lived through roller coaster emotions, from the euphoria of "We Believe" to the sleepless nights of injuries. From KD's dominance to Klay's miraculous comebacks, but are we ready for yet another seismic shift that could either ignite a championship blaze or mark the slow fade of a dynasty? The financial side cuts deeper White on a one-year deal means the front office is staring down a fork in the road. Commit big to keep him beyond a single season, risking cap space and youth development, or play it safe and hope this short explosion sparks the final dance without mortgage for the future. Chicago's endgame is just as murky. If they trade White for future draft kings, who's the next Bulls hero rising from the ashes? And how does that domino cascade ripple through the league? The possibility of this trade isn't just a headline. It's an earthquake with aftershocks, felt from the hardwood to the front offices. At a time when every missed shot and every whispered locker room drama amplifies, the Warriors' vision, whether it's to chase one last title with the Big Three plus that lethal third shooter, or to pivot quietly towards the future, hangs in a delicate balance. And the fans? We've been through the wars. We've raised the banner, chanted at the Oracle, and screamed until our voices were gone during those historic playoff runs. This isn't just basketball. It's a saga, a gritty, emotional roller coaster that pulses through every Dub Nation heart. So I'm laying it all out. Are we witnessing the birth of a new Golden State glory era? Or is this a throw of the dice that edges us closer to the twilight of a legendary dynasty? Because from the day Baron Davis ignited our hopes in '07, to the silent agony and eventual resurgence after Klay's clutch return, to Steph's miracle season after miracle season, I stand convinced that this team refuses to fade quietly. This Coby White chapter? It could be the spark that lights the entire league on fire once again, or the crack in the foundation that leads to a seismic shift we never saw coming. Now it's your time, spill your soul, and raw takes in the comments below. No guardrails. No holding back. I'm right there with you, feeling every pulse, every hope, every doubt. Dub Nation, the story's just turning the page, and we're about to witness history being made, one heartbeat at a time. And what if beyond the electric buzz of a potential White signing, the Warriors leverage this rumor as a smokescreen for an even bolder maneuver hidden beneath the surface? Imagine whispers that Golden State secretly has its eye on a veteran center like Brook Lopez. Yes, that same Lopez whose deep-range shooting and shot-blocking acumen could add an entirely new dimension to Kerr's small ball philosophy. Picture Lopez spotting up in the corner, draining threes off kickouts, while Marchese, Chris, or Draymond patrol the paint, swatting away anything that dares approach the rim. No more giving up space for opposing stretch fives. Instead, Golden State forces opponents to make impossible choices, double Curry, and Lopez steps up. Collapse on Klay, and the veteran big punishes you from deep. But that kind of luxury tax maneuver cuts deep into the luxury tax apron and demands you sacrifice some of your developmental wings. What if taking on Lopez means letting go of Poole? Or dialing back Kuminga's minutes? Could the front office stomach a move that prioritizes immediate defensive identity over the long-term athletic upside of their rising stars? It's a high-wire act, one that requires absolute confidence in Kerr's juggling act and a willingness to tip the scales in favor of winning. Now, at the expense of potential future returns, then there's the other side of the ledger. What if Golden State stands pat on this pick and instead spins a quiet web in the undrafted market, signing a floor general like Cameron Payne or a Swiss Army knife forward such as T.J. Warren at bargain rates? Think of the roster flexibility that could afford maintaining cap space for mid-season trades, or inking a mid-level exception to lure a veteran wing seeking a championship ring. The beauty here is subtlety. By not using their 45th pick on a single prospect, the Warriors keep their options open, sending ripples of uncertainty through the league as rival G-Miz scramble to predict their next move. Fans might grumble about passing on raw talent, but the front office could argue that stability, depth, and the ability to pivot in season outweigh the potential of an unproven rookie. After all, every great dynasty needs role players who understand their mission and buy-in without question season, Pros who know how to subdue moments of chaos and uphold the Warriors' cultural DNA. As these threads of speculation weave together, one truth crystallizes. This is far more than a transactional moment. It's a crucible that tests the identity of a franchise that has defined an era. Will Golden State succumb to the siren song of splashy headlines and reach for sensational names, or will they embrace a quiet pragmatism that cements their blueprint? For a final championship wave? What will resonate louder in the playoffs, an off-the-books veteran whose mere presence shifts opponents' game plans, or a freshly minted rookie who embodies the fearless energy of Dub Nation's next generation? The answer lies somewhere between the roar of fans and the hush of the locker room, in the tension between past triumphs and future possibilities. And as the final gavel falls on draft night, whatever decision Kerr and his front office unveil will echo through every analysis show, every debate thread, and every conversation among teammates. So Warriors fans, summon your strongest convictions and your wildest dreams, because tonight, the next chapter of Golden State's legend is being written, and we're all holding our breath to see how this thrilling saga unfolds.